Hey, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take a deep dive into a series of diagrams and planning that are both lean, agile, organic, that will focus on reducing waste, but ex- focusing on improving the outcome, the process, the dependencies, right? But we have to start with understanding the scope. And before we can understand the scope, we kind of need to understand what is it that we're doing, what tools are we going to use, how are we going to use them. But we're going to dive into creating business processes, right? We're going to understand who's performing what job, how they're doing it, the needs, the circumstances about it. We're going to focus on this consumption job life cycle. Now, this ranges from acquisition and purchasing through receiving, installation, setting up, learning, interfacing, storage, moving, maintaining, repair, upgrade, replace, and dispose. So this aligns perfectly with the software development lifecycle, your uh, systems and computers life cycle, right? Along with the needs of your business. You'll understand how the business dependencies are impacted on acquisition all the way through disposal of what you do, reduce your waste, and focus on reducing disposal, improving and optimizing your performance. We're going to also dig into related jobs, right? What functions are related to the person doing the job, the executor, right, at that core job, and what emotional jobs. But how are we going to do that, right? We're going to learn to tell stories. And how are we going to learn to tell stories? Visual things, right? We're going to start in the middle. We're going to learn how to create a story arc with pivotal moments through the journey, right? You're going to develop good content. You're going to have understanding, awareness, and execution of your business. So, where do we start? We're going to start with identifying this mouse needs a new battery, right? Uh, what is the status quo? And why are you satisfied with it? Why are you satisfied with the status quo? Now, we've got four blocks here on each quadrant, right? These are our desired outcomes. What do we want to do? We want to have a desired outcome of what we observe, right? This is focused on reducing cost and complexity. But we also have to understand what are the table stakes? What must be addressed, right? And what outcomes do you hypothesize are very important and very satisfied? These have to be continued. These are core to your organization's mission, vision, and values. And sometimes you see an organization or business reposition, thinking that they can forego the table stakes and they go away. You've got to know your core components, right, that keep your customers and your services in operation. Then focus on the underserved. What outcomes aren't very well satisfied? This is your chance to add value. And then what's irrelevant, right? What's neither important nor satisfied? Don't worry about it, but make a list. And then here's what we want. We want an outcome with a direction, a metric, an object of control, and a contextual clarifier. When you start writing your statements like this, you're going to go farther with what you do. Now, let's focus on how we're going to integrate this framework. What you see here is Monday.com. Monday.com is a great scalable tool that permits you to integrate planning, project management without the frustrations. So we've got here, starting on February 15th, we're going to start to write our scope. Then we're going to dive into our enterprise conceptual module the next day. The next day after that, we're going to talk about systems that we're going to develop. Then we're going to focus on technology, implementation, right? We've got a break on the 18th and 20th to work on this and start planning for the future. We're going to move to implementation and what does that functioning exercise enterprise actually look like? So we're going to go through so many different steps at a fundamental level to understand what is it our business does. So let's figure out how we're going to write the scope. At the top, we see that this belongs to a group. We'll go into this and more later. And we also see that this is in the framework board. So if you're using this to build your process, right, be sure to check the framework board for the behind the scenes look at this. So we can assign a person to do this job. In this case, I'm going to put myself on this course, and I am now able to look through my statuses. What I've put here are some popular statuses that help convey technology, right? We're focused on integrating lean and agile and these methods that would empower a scrum master, but it also empowers the team. So what am I doing? I'm going to be working on it. We're focused on the 15th, and we have to think about the data, the function, the time, the list of organizations, locations, and list of goals. So this is how we're going to write our scope, right? We've got the other chart over here, this dashboard, that helps us find our core and consumption job, and we're going to break the status quo. But let's come back. So we're going to list our things. We're going to start to list our processes. If these are theoretical, great. Start writing them down. This is the time to brainstorm. Keep it simple, and don't forget, you need to come up with the outcome that has a direction, metric, object of control, and a contextual clarifier. We're going to focus on a list of events, core events that have timelines, and we see that, right? We have an enterprise model, a system model, technology, implementation, and what does that functioning enterprise exercise actually look like? We've got lists of organizations. This is a wonderful time to look at your competitors, look at people that you are inspired by, and list these out as well. You want to have an understanding of who's in your market, right? What they're doing, how they're doing it, why people understand the value that they give. You need to think of a list of locations. These can be both digital or physical, right? This could be the group that you're looking for is on Reddit, or maybe they're on Twitter or Mastodon, or maybe they attend a particular organization or they're members of a club. We're going to list our locations and we're going to understand the motivations, right? We're going to list the goals of our scope, what we're hoping for, right? Over here, go ahead, take a screenshot, outcome, direction metric, object of control, and contextual clarifier. This is going to let us know, does it fit in the observed, table stakes, underserved, is it irrelevant, right? We need to understand when we write our scope, how do we satiate this particular table? We want to break out of the status quo, we want to know what's irrelevant, and we want to focus on doing the right level of work. Additionally, we can share files from all the popular cloud service providers, right, from our computer, webcam, a document, links, Google Drive, or Dropbox. We'll go into this feature and how to connect it to your cloud service providers to increase your resilience, right, and information. And we can share timelines with our project managers, right? So we can even make this go out for several days if we decide our project has changed. And guess what? That update has been extended. We see that we have this project from the 15th through the 17th. And we can click on this and interact. We've got our status. So get ready, write your things down. Let me know in the comments what your scope is and what project you're working on and what you'd like to see in this tool and video series.